Hello, I'm Katie from Workshop Coffee, and today we're going to be taking a slightly closer look at Los Cristales. Los Cristales is a coffee from Colombia. It's owned by a couple called Dagoberto and Yaneth. Dagoberto in particular is from a long line of coffee producers himself, and him and his wife decided to buy a farm called Los Cristales, where they live with their children. It's named after the stream that runs through the middle of the farm, crystal clear waters, and that's where the name comes from. In recent years, they've put more focus on producing specialty coffee, a lot more focus on how they structure their farm. So, for example, there's not just coffee plants on there, there's also trees, shade trees in particular, that help with things like erosion control, how much nitrogen content is in the soil. So they're thinking of the bigger picture, they're looking at the whole farm and how they can improve what they're doing. They also have focus on how much they pay their pickers, and knowing that that's an important factor in ensuring that they've got the best quality cherry that they can get. They're not doing it alone. They have a lot of help from the local community. There's groups that they're intended to help with this kind of production. Also help from Caravella, who have had a big part in improving their practices as well. So where this coffee is produced may seem a little bit familiar. Gaitana specifically, but the region Planadas is an area which we've bought coffees from before. You may recognise Clavelina. We've also had Hernando Gomez and also Buena Vista, which is produced by Astrid Medina. So obviously with how everything is at the moment, there are a lot of travel restrictions, which mean we've been unable to visit farms like we normally would. Luckily, we have a really great relationship with Caravella, who were able to suggest these particular producers to us. Hopefully one day we'll be able to go there in person, but it's a system that works really well at the moment. That's a little bit about the coffee itself. Let's brew up a cup, have a taste, and see what flavours we get. So if you've seen a little bit of information about this coffee already, you may have seen the way in which it's been processed, and it could be a little bit alarming to look at the time frames involved initially. They start by holding their coffee cherries in their skins for about 24 hours, then depulping them, and then they spend 60 hours in a tank sitting through a fermenting process. That seems like a very long amount of time to be fermenting coffee cherries for. A lot of the reasons they're able to do this is due to the climate of where the farm is. It's a little bit cooler, so you don't get that speeded up process that you could potentially get. Everything's a little bit more slowed down. We do see this give us a slightly unusual cup profile, something that's a little bit new. Not necessarily super funky, but sweetness that's a bit more enhanced and a bit more bolstered, that really comes through with your jammy flavours. It's really desserty, quite cooked fruit flavours that are really delicious. So it's super cherry bakewell. You have that rich cooked cherry fruit flavour, a lot of brown sugar sweetness that comes with it as well. Really interesting from that. We see the effect of a bit of that processing that's happened in it as well. Really interesting. That's Los Cristales. Thanks very much for watching. We hope you enjoy this coffee as much as we do, and we'll see you soon.